I've known you, the one where you were ghosted is the only one I know about. And I fucking heard about it for hours on end. So something tells me you can say, I don't know which one hurt me more. But I know which one I fucking talked to you about hours on end.
Well, Intoxicated, oddly enough, has a weird percentage of U.S. listeners. Yeah. And I never understood it because I was like, why do people in the States care about Halifax comedy? Or like Halifax comedians? But maybe
they care about Halifax, England comedy.
But maybe it's like, maybe they have a fascination with
They're
Canadian comedy
scenes. They're probably just watching my fucking episodes, right?
Well, I mean...
They do have the most views.
They have...
On
higher amount of views than the other guests. You're right.
Why is that now? What do you think that is?
Well, I mean, that's why we're here. That's why out of all of the people that I could have had a podcast with, and I would have had my pick of the litter. Okay?
It's a fucking pretty
shitty litter. I picked Scott because Scott and I's conversation are pretty...
It's because I have mass appeal.
Oh, dear God.
I'm like Joe Rogan. Everyone loves me, but no one wants to admit it.
Welcome back to episode 4, everybody.
And I'm a giant douche.
This may or may not be episode 4, depending on the order these come out. This is the 4th installment.
Welcome back to the next episode
of
the podcast, Scott versus Sarah.
I thought we were gonna go Scott.
Nah, we're not doing that. I'm not doing that because that's cheesy as fuck. I'm making a creative decision right now. We're not doing Scott because it's first of all it's clunky. Second of all, it's gay.
Well,
third of all, I'm bringing gay back. By the way,
our slogan is when desperate to adapt meets
too stubborn to change.
Yeah.
And who's who?
Who is who? I guess that always depends on the topic. Eh?
Wendy, who's who?
We know who's desperate to adapt. I mean, if it has desperate in it, it's me.
It's definitely you.
I don't think I'm that desperate.
But
I think that's another thing that's a misconception about me.
Quite honestly, I think both of those are about you. You're desperate to adapt and too stubborn to change. I'm not too stubborn to change. I'm an open-minded individual.
Oh, what the fuck are you talking about?
I'm an open-minded individual.
You are so stubborn, Scott.
I'm not stubborn.
Wait for the astrology episode.
Yeah, but
wait for the astrology episode, everybody. Okay. You wait.
When I start debating something that's empirically true, that has a strong basis of evidence and not just a girl wearing linens who hasn't washed her hair told me so, then I'll
That's what you think astrology girls look like?
Yeah.
They're wearing linens and they don't wash their hair?
Yeah. Like draperies, things you'd put on your couch.
You know what? Men also don't understand women and hair washing. Because, like, sometimes I go, like, 5 days without washing my hair and it looks fine. But this is day 2 hair.
Okay. It looks great. I understand. It's called a straightener.
I don't know why I got very defensive about fucking hair.
I mean, I wash my hair every day, but I don't use shampoo much anymore.
Well, I don't blame people with short hair for doing that. But like this takes a while.
Yeah, it's
long
laziness.
Hair, long hair takes.
Well,
yeah,
it's laziness.
It is.
This really comes down to laziness.
I hate washing my hair. Hate fucking doing it.
Yeah,
dread it every time. Takes so much time.
Yeah,
I hate it.
It's definitely a laziness thing, though. I get it. I mean, fuck, it's wet. It's cold in the back of my neck.
I think washing my hair and laundry and taking out the garbage and doing the dishes. Those are things I push till the breaking point, and then I just cave and do them.
And you know what? If you did all of them at the same time, it would take you 12 minutes.
Isn't that wild?
It would. That might actually be long because really,
I actually heard.
Do you have laundry in your apartment?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Down the hall.
Down the hall.
Yeah, but sometimes you have to go on a hunt if the machines are in use.
Okay.
I've had times where I've had to go up several flights.
So you're adding another 30 to 45 seconds each way round trip. So yeah.
I've heard that
12 to 15 minutes.
I've heard that an ADHD thing you can do to help you get things done is to when you have a task that you have to do, I have to clean up the fridge. You like you get yourself to do it, and then when it's done, you go, I just cleaned out the fridge, and that took me 5 minutes. And like you say it out loud, and you acknowledge how little time it took, and then that gives you like that dopamine, like, fuck yeah, I accomplished something.
Yeah, I mean,
and it makes you more like, but you have to say it out loud. But that's the other thing with ADHD. When I leave the house, so like my straightener, I literally have to go, I turned off my straightener.
No, I agree with that.
I turned it off, Sarah, and I say it like 3 times, and I go, I'm not gonna freak out now and question it because I've said it out loud.
I do that with the oven.
I've turned off the oven.
I say off. The oven is off because nothing scares me more than burning down my fucking house and everything I have because I'm an idiot, because I'm a dumbass.
Dude, yeah, no, that's a terrifying thought. Especially like you have a dog now.
Yeah.
And you have children.
Yeah. So,
do you ever leave the kids alone in the house? How old are your kids?
If I gotta go to the corner store or something, maybe, but not like for extended periods of time. If I gotta go down the street, pick up a fucking carton of eggs or something, but.
There was one day that my landlord texted me, Sarah, are you home? Your fire alarm is going off. Your smoke detector is going off. And I've never freaked out so much in my fucking life. I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? I was like, oh my God. Cause Mindy, right? Like I truly don't care about my stuff. I mean, I'd be a little upset. I would be pretty upset about like ruining all my podcast equipment and stuff. But like my cat is the main thing.
Yeah.
I want to get my fucking cat out of there.
And I don't care. Like, look, if my house burns down because of an electrical fire that I didn't cause, I'm like, okay, that sucks too. But if I left the fucking oven on,
sometimes really stupid mistakes happen though, and it's and
I don't want to make those.
Fucking,
so that's why, and that one's like the dumbest mistake.
Leaving the oven on, I've done it a couple times.
Oh, I do it all the time. But yeah, off. That's not our topic today.
Off. The oven's off.
Off. The oven is off.
It sounds like a little song.
Have we fucking welcomed people yet?
Welcome back to the Scott versus Sarah podcast.
All right.
Where Scott and I hammer out a conversation and try to leave still being friends.
This will be available with video, obviously. We got a video here. That's what's going to be a thing.
On YouTube, baby.
I would like to explain why I am wearing a beater. I am a despicable human being. And I'm a slob. So that's pretty much it. No, I came here from my day job, didn't have time to change, wasn't going to wear my work uniform. That's kind of fucking weird. So,
well, there you go.
And it's white.
Or maybe.
And white is what ghosts are.
Ooh.
Segue. And our topic today is... Ghosting.
Ooh, spooky.
Ghosting. Wendy, could you pull up on the screen there what the definition of ghosting is? I believe we all know, but we'll summarize it for the viewers. Ghosting is the act of the abrupt ending communication with someone without explanation. The concept most often refers to romantic relationships, but can also describe disappearances from friendships and the workplace. People respond to being ghosted in many ways, from feeling indifferent to deeply betrayed. For ghosting, against ghosting, what's the dynamic here?
I mean, if I'm gonna pick one, it's tough to pick one because I think my stance is that it's not as bad as people make it out to be.
Okay.
But I am unfortunately gonna take the fucking, I know it's a frustrating stance to take, but I'm gonna use the it depends on the situation answer because it does. It just fucking does. If a guy ghosts you after one date, get the fuck over it. That wasn't in my mind, that was not ghosting. There's a lot of people that do think if you go on one date and then you don't hear from them, that it's ghosting. Okay. I don't think so.
Well, there's a certain, like, I've gone on one date with, like, I've mutually ghosted before. I've gone on a date with a girl,
Yeah.
Things just, I don't know.
Do you know
like,
what I
they
mean?
didn't jive, and that's rare for me. I jive with everybody, but this didn't in this particular instance. And we were both very charming and said our nice things after the date or whatever. We had our drink, and then we were like, okay, cool. Well, hey, good drink, and we'll be talking. And then we left, and then
No one followed up.
no one followed up. Either
To
of
me, that's not ghosting. That's a fizzle.
I would call it like there was a look in our eyes where we knew like
This ain't going anywhere.
like
Yeah,
done.
I don't, that's not, yeah, that's fine. That happened to me recently with the guy that I went on a date with. Neither of us followed up. So, like, I'm not upset. I'm sure he's not upset. Everyone's fine.
So we'll say that that's not ghosting because I don't
Now-
want to call that ghosting because like if it's a mutual ghosting,
That's not ghosting in my mind.
but like did you have that feeling like right at the end of the date like
Oh,
this is
by the
probably
way-
not going to happen again?
Gen Z calls mutual ghosting Caspering, friendly ghosting.
All right. Well, Gen Z fucking sucks. And shut up and stop calling everything a thing. It just people weren't like
There's
just-
tons of terms that maybe are you familiar with window tapping?
no.
Window tapping is when you follow a girl on Instagram. I got window tapped recently, actually. Thank you for window tapping
When you
me.
like photos?
You like, and you have to, this is the thing. You can't like too many, and you can't like just one. The perfect number for window tapping.
3.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I've tapped a couple windows in my time.
Three photos. You do a follow. And
Everybody's tapped a windows. If you haven't tapped a window, it's like you're
What do you do
lying.
with your life?
You're just lying.
I've done it a couple times.
Yeah, for sure.
It feels fucking scary to do it.
It's like, yeah, I would say once you get to 4 pictures, you're a fucking stalker.
Oh,
right?
shit.
You're a fucking
4
creep who wants to put your head in a jar.
Yeah, 4 is a lot. But then there's insane, obscene amount. Like there's people who do
It also might
like
be
you
a
have
ratio.
to scroll to go through the likes, and that is just
Yeah, that's another thing is you've got
Psycho.
it. You've got it. You could like the last 4 pictures they posted, but I think it's usually like a real good like hard window tap would be like
3.
the most recent hottest picture they posted. Then you go back like a couple months maybe, and then like maybe 2 strong.
Do you think back a couple
scrolls.
months?
You could go I mean, once you go back like a couple years though.
This guy liked a photo of me from the More Than the Tip show that we did.
All right, that's fine. No,
And
that's a
then-
good tap. That's a good
and
window
then-
tap.
And then this one, which was December. Oh, so he did go back a little
Yeah,
bit.
it's cleavage, so sure.
Yeah. So you got to be strategic. And the best part too.
And then you gotta like a you playing with your niece photo just to show that I'm a good guy.
I like the
I'm
wholesome
not a
content.
creep. Yeah.
I don't mind just boobs.
Oh, a comedy poster. Well, I think that's great that you did that.
A comedy poster for a past show.
Yeah,
That's already happened.
that's definitely a
window tap.
phenomena that women deal with a lot more. Wendy, you've been tapped a couple times.
Many a time.
Many a time.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, every woman has.
But we're not talking about window tapping.
I'm just saying that there's a lot of terms. There's also
We're not
breadcrumbing.
talking about Caspering the friendly
or
ghost.
breadcrumbing.
Or breadcrumbing. That's window tapping.
No, breadcrumbing it's something. Can you Google breadcrumbing? It might not actually show up, but it's like maybe if you put Urban Dictionary.
No, it was right there. Bam.
Breadcrumbing is the act of sending out flirtatious but non-committal social signals in order to lure a romantic partner in without expanding much efforts. In other words, it is leading someone on and being a pussy ass bitch.
It's not leading someone on if you actually are looking to pursue. It's leading on is
but you're not following through on anything. You're being
showing
wishy
your
washy.
pussy but not giving it up.
That's
Like
just being a
that's
tease.
leading on
That's
is
just being a
saying, hey,
tease.
you can have this, and then with no intentions of
No.
letting them have it. Breadcrumbing is
No, breadcrumbing
my
is like
skirt's a little high on my leg.
no, I don't see it as well. I mean, yeah, flirtatious, yes, but I see it as like, let's get drinks sometime, Scott. I would love that.
No, this is
And then they
this
don't-
is crash padding. you're putting out flirtatious, non-committal social signs in order to lure a romantic partner without expending much effort, so that when you fucking don't get a reciprocated response, you can say, "Oh, well, I wasn't really trying." Like, it's like you're lying to yourself. You suck at communicating, and you want to give yourself an out.
I mean, so
that's breadcrumbs.
It's douchey but strategic.
I wouldn't say it's douchey. I think it's
kind of douchey.
Pussy.
I don't like breadcrumbing. I'd rather you ghost than breadcrumb.
Well, these are completely different ends of the fucking. One's starting, one's ending. Ghosting is the end. Breadcrumbing's the attempted begin.
I did ask Instagram what people consider ghosting. Do you want me to read?
What are
some things that people considered ghosting? So one person said, to be honest, you can ghost even in the talking stage. I feel it's worse if you've been on a date, though.
And you can ghost in the talking stage.
Someone else said after a date or talking for a few weeks and disappearing. Somebody also said, yeah, I think after one date, it's ghosting. There is a level of commitment at that point. And another person said, active and interested conversation. Oh, this is how they just define ghosting. Active and interested conversation that is suddenly terminated or after one date.
Yeah. So
a lot of
we
people
have
think,
our definition. I'd say that ghosting can definitely happen in the talking stage. Ghosting can happen pre-date. Ghosting can happen post-date, post however long. I mean, ghosting can happen really whenever. And there is, the question I think we had to ask is, when is it acceptable? Now, you said you have pros. I
have pros.
I am black and white on that issue. If you ghost, you're a cunt.
Mm-hmm. There's no
ghosting.
You can't see any side of it.
Ghosting.
Where you could do that, something like that.
Okay, if the person is like a psycho, obviously, and like they just started messaging you, and then they're like, "Well, fuck you, bitch." Like if they're like real incel-y because you haven't responded quick enough, and you're like, "All right." Or I'm going to ghost you, or they send a dick pic and you like at the third message and like, what are you doing? I get the ghost there. I wouldn't even call that ghosting. I'd call that's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. Sometimes it's just, I think we get mixed up between like unwanted social interactions and what is a committed dynamic that someone's ending without any explanation.
So ghosting is like, okay, so not ghosting. Saying, first of all, here's the reason why I don't like it. There's no balls to it. It's some real soft core.
It's cowardly.
Pussy, cowardly shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what?
I can see that.
Just tell them you're not interested, you loser. You're messaging the person on fucking line.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, sorry, not really interested, but thanks. Make something up. I actually met a guy. Oh, I'm moving to fucking Zanzibar. I'm not like, oh, and then you see them in public some other time. Oh, actually, I didn't actually end up moving to Zanzibar, but I don't give a shit.
Is that a strip club in Toronto?
That is, but it's also a place in Africa.
Oh, okay. I totally know it is a strip club. First strip club. First and
but maybe you're moving to Zanzibar and you're going to work at Zanzibar, and that's a good reason to ghost. Like there's an why not?
So
just have common courtesy. Not ghosting. Like it's you don't have to hold the door for a person entering a building behind you.
But you do.
But if you don't hold the door, you're a cunt.
It's kind of douchey.
And that's
it's
what
manners.
ghosting is.
It's manners.
Just like, just have some basic fucking decency to say, hey, sorry, I'm really not interested. And that's that. And then walk away. Like, that's it. Just have.
You don't really owe anyone anything other than that. I think a lot of people want reasons why.
So where's the ghosting benefit?
So I think people, well.
How is it justifiable knowing that every time you do it, you're an asshole?
So as someone who has been ghosted, I have never ghosted somebody, but I have been ghosted on a couple different levels. Like one of being which was like 5 dates and like we had slept together. So like that's that's for sure ghosting.
Yeah.
And then I had another situation, which was, 2 to 3 years of a friendship and dynamic with somebody. I say friendship, but it really wasn't. A situationship. Out of nowhere, blocked on everything. No, and like no prior reason as like the conversation.
But there was a comedian that had like a fucking like a Toronto comedian had a bit about how they had been ghosted by like their wife or something.
Right.
And they just dipped.
So I have some strange reasons why I don't mind ghosting.
Okay.
One being which that ghosting experience that I had where the person disappeared out of nowhere and there was no trace. I could not creep. I did not see the person.
Mm-hmm.
I got over that person, I think, faster than I would if they had kept me around as a friend or stayed on good terms with me. The situation was so toxic that having them cut me off was the best thing for me.
More of a silver lining. And
but that's the best thing for me.
Saving you from yourself.
Sort of, yeah. So for a full year, hated that I got ghosted by this person. And then I started thinking about it differently. Maybe it wasn't a full year.
Yeah,
but for quite some time, I was very hurt. But I started thinking about it differently. And I went, well, you want to know what? Like, I feel like that was probably the best thing that could have happened for both of us to just fucking cut it off and be forced, both of us be forced to fucking move on.
Yeah, that can all be done with a, hey, look, I'm going to stop talking to you. I think what's best for us is, like, we've been going through this thing for quite some time, this touch and go, whatever the fuck. I think what's best for us is to stop. So I apologize, but I'm going to cut you off from my social media. And then you can do all of the thing you just said, but not
closure.
be a fucking asshole pussy.
I mean, yes, everybody wants closure, which leads me to my second.
But no, hold on, because you just said that was good for you.
Yes.
Was it good of him to do?
So I don't necessarily think so. A while back, I had talked about on Intoxicated the idea of closure and what you just said, being told why something's over.
This is when you know there's a problem is when it's a yes or no question.
No, just wait.
And it's not yes or no.
Yes, you're right. Yes, absolutely. People should explain themselves.
No, but was it good of him to do? Not that it happened to fucking work out for you.
That's up for debate.
No, because it just happened to work out for you. What he did in his shitty asshole actions was not, even if it turned out to be good for you, doesn't mean what he did was a good thing. It's just that the shitty thing had a silver lining.
I think that I honestly feel like closure. Heartbreak is heartbreak. And I'm not fully convinced that closure or being given a goodbye matters.
Well, it does.
And
that's why people are like, oh my God, my 2-year-old has been missing for 7 years and they found the body and I'm relieved, is because closure. They found out that the worst case scenario happened and they're relieved because closure.
But okay, so like if you told someone, I'm not interested, I'm going to cut you off.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I'm so sorry, you're great, you just like it kind of leaves like on a friendly term, even though it's not really friendly, you're cutting someone off. In my mind, there's still a lingering of hope there in a strange way. And what I like about ghosting is it's clear. It's clear cut. It's clear cut. This person ghosted you, they're a fucking jerk, they are not good for you, move on. It's them showing true colors right away. I have another very petty and selfish reason why I like ghosting, though.
All right, go with your petty, selfish reason.
I'm excited to get to this
Your first one loses. It fails to stand logic. It's a bad act.
Wendy, what do you think?
What?
Look.
Do you think ghosting's good or bad?
I think.
Can you see my points?
I think people should have consideration. That's the stance that I have.
So
Genghis Khan raped and pillaged fucking Europe and Asia for for multiple decades, and it created international trade and the Silk Road and religious tolerance. That doesn't mean lopping the heads off of tens of thousands of people in an afternoon and raping all their wives is good because we got fucking cheap trade and a postal system. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
But my initial stance was not, I'm pro ghosting. It's me saying ghosting is not as bad as people make it out to be.
No, ghosting, but that's not even. It is. It's just sometimes it can have a silver lining. It's still just as bad. The act is just as bad, but there can be a silver lining. I don't
think people owe you anything.
Yeah,
unless you are
nobody owes you to hold the door for you when you're walking in the building. You do it because you're not a cunt. And if you don't hold the door, you're a cunt.
I would never
ghost. You're a cunt.
I would never ghost. I would always close it. But
all right, what's your fucking selfish reason?
My selfish reason why, and trust me, like this is coming from the person who gets ghosted side, by the way.
It's not.
So just keep, but you have to keep that in mind because that's my perspective. I kind of like it because because I will always be on that person's mind when they are thinking about regrets they had.
When you ghost them?
No, when I get ghosted by someone.
When
I get ghosted by someone.
Yeah, we got to get you into therapy.
When I get ghosted by someone and it's a shitty thing they did, I'm going to be a thought that comes to their head in therapy because they did something shitty to me. And I kind of like being someone that someone thinks about.
I think if you're the kind of person to ghost, you're probably more like leaning towards the sociopathic end of the spectrum. Like you're a person who's inconsiderate. So why the fuck would they consider that dumb bitch I didn't care about who's just left in the past? Like, fuck her. Here's where ghosting's good. When you want to say fuck you to somebody. Like, okay.
When it's warranted.
I can picture but if you went on a date with someone who was absolutely insufferable, talked down to you, was really condescending, but they liked you.
Mm-hmm. They were still bugging you.
I could see how ghosting would be like, yeah, you know what? Let's say fuck you to this person. But I still, I don't know. As I say it, it's like, just say fuck you, pussy. Like, I just think it's soft and cowardly.
So a lot of times people will say, I don't want to hurt that person's feelings, so I'd rather just not say anything back.
Yeah, that's a common... That is, I'm an asshole who's trying to dig myself out of the asshole, like who's trying to justify my shit behavior.
They're trying to mask being a good person.
Yeah, they're a prick who's going, oh, wait, if I am actually sincere about how I just am completely inconsiderate, nobody will fuck me anymore. So I'm going to make up some horseshit excuse for why I didn't have the balls to just be like,
yeah,
hey, sorry, I'm a coward.
So I played you a clip on the way here from a past Intoxicated podcast where I had someone on who had ghosted me, who I'm still friends with. And his reasoning in a nutshell was, number one, wasn't ready to be in a relationship. He was 6 months separated from his wife. So he kind of freaked out a bit, wasn't quite ready, got busy with work, and at a certain point thought it was too late for him to follow up with me. Those were his reasons. What do you think of those reasons?
I think it's somebody who got caught stealing and they're like, oh, I thought these headphones were free and I was just taking them out so I could give them to charity. Because no, you're a fucking bullshitter. You lied. You did something shitty.
Is it a lie?
What's that?
Is it a lie?
To say that, oh, what the fuck do you mean? Hey, okay, I just got out of I just broke up with my wife 6 months ago. You can't text somebody that? Hey, sorry, I'm just not ready to continue. I'm in a fucking weird space with my job right now. And, I just got out of, it's not the best time for me. I just broke up with my wife. Like, I got to take a minute for myself. Where does ghosting come into a reasonable response? Other than, like, I'm just incredibly inconsistent or inconsiderate, or I had a mental breakdown and I was in a hospital somewhere. That's it. There's your excuse for ghosting. You literally had a mental breakdown. You got robbed or like
You
kidnapped
died.
or something.
Death is
you
death's
ghost.
acceptable.
If you die, I would say ghosting's acceptable. But
if your
anything other than
parents
that, it's
die,
like,
if you've had a death randomly happen like close to you, I think that's fine.
yeah, just to have some balls. I had a girl ghost me pre first date.
Okay.
And I was like,
before the date happened.
yeah, like we were texting at like fucking noon to 1 or something like that.
Right.
And then it was like getting close to when we were supposed to be meeting. And I was like, hey, like, did you want to meet there? Did
Right.
you want me to pick you up?
You got stood up.
I'm about to head out. And then I was just like, hey, it's totally cool.
Yeah.
If you don't want to go on a date, like I don't give a shit, but can you just let me know so I can go enjoy my Friday night? And then she like lost her shit about how, oh my God, I'm sick of you fucking men who think
What?
you're so entitled to and it's just like,
well, that's
and that's
crazy
where
bitch.
that's where I came up with my whole assessment of you don't have to you don't owe it to the person behind you to hold the door. You do it because you're not a cunt. And I said, and from my conversation with you, I'm guessing you don't hold a lot of doors.
With me? No, I don't. Like,
shut up and
No.
listen to what I just said.
I don't ghost. I'm saying I've never ghosted somebody.
I know.
Never.
You said this
Yeah.
like 6 times. You just missed my wicked, I called this woman a cunt joke.
Oh, but you were saying you and I got scared. I thought you were talking about me.
No. I said, I'm guessing that this...
My fight or flight kicked in and I went, no.
God. Why are you defensive about the thing you've never done? You have done it. You've ghosted.
No, I haven't.
Then why are you defensive about it?
Because I'm
It's because I'm yelling and confrontational.
because
Because I'm my father?
because in this conversation, I guess I'm more on the you're very not pro ghosting, and I go, it's situational, and I can see the other side of why people do it. I think it has to do with also shame, and I mean, I think
Being
it
awfully fucking generous.
but I think it is cowardly. But I take when someone shows me their true colors, I take it as a fucking almost like a gift to myself to go, well, now I know that person's a fucking jerk and I'm done. And I'm done.
That doesn't make
If someone had a
ghosting
nice
good.
conversation with me, no, it doesn't. I'm not saying that.
Well, that's the
But I'm
fucking
saying-
thing.
I'm
Is
saying
it good or
people-
is it bad? Is it
people
justifiable or not? And it never
it
is unless you
depends.
die.
It's not black and white.
It is.
It depends.
Completely black and white.
I do not think it's black and white.
But every reason you've given
Because
is just because it benefited you specifically. It also, what about the guy that ghosted you? Okay, you go away. You go, you know what? That's awfully great. He didn't. I guess now I'll always be on his mind because you're a fucking lunatic who doesn't realize that this guy doesn't give a shit. And then he goes out and he ghosts somebody else.
right. Yeah, it's
and that
tricky.
person kills themselves because it was the 10th time. Like, oh, look, maybe it could have a negative consequence. Like,
Oh no,
take it
it's
from the other side. It's a shitty thing to do. Silver linings do not justify bad behavior. So just look.
No.
I was in a fucking.
But I'm saying people need to get over it faster if they've been ghosted. It's not that bad.
Yeah, sure.
Move on.
Well,
I'm not like
I'll go on that, but that has nothing to do with ghosting. That has to do with a problem has arisen. Get over it.
But I also think because of people's perceptions of these things, as we saw on Instagram, people have different definitions of what they think ghosting is. Some people think it's in the talking stage. Some people think, like in my opinion, I don't think it's ghosting until, probably something physical has happened. Someone's been inside somebody. That's a pretty big deal. Don't ghost after that.
No, it's just bigger. That's just a bigger. It just makes it shittier. It's like punching someone in the face isn't as bad as stabbing them in the throat, but it's still an act of violence and it's not acceptable. So right.
But
so
it's
ghosting someone when you are about to go on a fucking date, like we're in the talking stage, get ghosted, it's still a shitty thing to do. It's not as shitty as, hey, we've been together for a bit and, you know, we're fucking 2 months into this and we've banged a number of times and now you're gone. That's worse, but that doesn't mean the ghosting, it's just inconsiderate.
Yeah, I think the main thing with ghosting is because I think fizzle outs happen all the time where it's just, like you said, mutual ghosting.
Fizzle out's not ghosting.
Fizzle out is not ghosting. You're right. But I think what happens is someone's trying harder than the other person. So someone is pushing for that next date, that next get together more than the other person. And they're asking, can we get together? I like you. They're being really vulnerable. And then nothing. That's for sure ghosting. And that might happen after one date. That might happen after two. As soon as you put out a call of like, hey, Scott, can I see you again? I really liked you. Mm-hmm. And then you don't respond. That's ghosting. But if we just don't talk to each other, that's a fizzle.
Well, who knows? Maybe I ghosted that chick that I went on the date with. Maybe she was like really swept off her feet.
But if you're saying
and
that
I just thought, wow, she definitely didn't like me. And then I just ghosted her inadvertently. I'm pretty sure it was mutual. We may have said, hey, we're not doing
you two, this. That's the thing. And the further you are in a dynamic, the further you will know what that other person thinks ghosting is. And so if you do it, that's for sure ghosting. But if you both have different ideas of ghosting, do you know what I mean? Like, how am I to know?
No.
Like, if you think it's in the talking stage, but I just think, no, it's not that serious. We're just talking on Tinder.
Okay. If it's true, inadvertent ghosting, then it is not morally reprehensible.
There we go.
Because intentions matter.
And intentions, you might not know each other's
I would say
intentions.
that adds up to, we'll call it 0.5% of ghostings that occur, though. That can account for 0.5% of ghosts are inadvertent ghosts. Most people who are ghosting know what they're doing. They're cowards. They don't want to be in an uncomfortable situation. It's all fucking social media because all you are is you're just expendable, right? It's just swipe away or whatever, right? That is the cause of it is essentially that the anonymity of the internet or the I guess we'll go with that, has caused people not to look at each other and see each other as real human beings. It's just like you're just expendable.
Oh, absolutely.
And so
you're not
ghosting,
nothing.
I can understand why people think it's not a big deal, but they're still an asshole. They're still inconsiderate. And silver linings, you're going, oh, there's a silver lining. Great. That doesn't justify it. That doesn't mean it's okay. It would always be better if the person said,
I'm done.
Not interested. It'd be better if they said, sorry, loser. Fuck you. I'm out. That would be better than ghosting. That's more considerate to say, you know what? I think you're a bit of a douche and dumb, and I don't think you're that smart. I don't want to be around you anymore. Dumb. And then you left. That would be better than ghosting. That is less morally reprehensible. To say something mean but final would be better, is more morally acceptable than ghosting. Wendy?
I would prefer that, yeah.
Yeah. See? Yeah. Everybody would.
So I saw a TikTok of comedians talking about this. Mm-hmm. And one of the female comics had an interesting stance. She was like, so say it's like 2 dates or something, and then you ghost me. She's like, yeah, do that. I don't want to hear why you don't like me after only 2 dates. How bad am I that you know right away that you don't like me? That's a huge hit to my self-esteem. I would rather not know. Goodbye.
I like that as a joke, but it is a joke.
But
it's a great joke. I like the joke.
There's a point.
If I saw that joke, I would laugh at that. But it's not. It's not.
I don't know. I think there's some truth in that.
There's not.
I think there's some truth, and here's my other thing. I think maybe this is where I'm coming from too. I fucking hate half-assed messages or like sentiments. Like, I just don't feel it. I don't
look.
give me a like if you're gonna reject me, go in. Go the fuck in. Let's do this. Don't just say it's not working out.
So you only want them to tear you apart.
Kind of all or nothing. I think that's where I land on it.
Okay, well this goes to again. Now, you just want people to be fucking assholes. You just want the world to be dark and sad.
If you're not going to be a coward, if you're going to reject,
you don't
someone,
have to be a fucking prick.
If you're going to reject someone, why not be fucking honest?
Because it's
not nice, right? You don't like hurting someone's feelings.
The same reason why you don't give an extra $1 at fucking to round up to the next $1 at McDonald's so you can give it to Ronald McDonald's house and you go, well, actually donate to another charity. And then they go, okay. And then they it's a reason.
It's the bare minimum, almost?
It's the bare minimum.
It's almost like you're half-assing.
That's not a good analogy there, though, because you're being a bit you're lying. But why do you have to be mean to somebody? You don't have to be mean to somebody. You just be like, hey, man, don't feel it.
No one has to. But what I'm saying is if you left me with a half-assed, I'm sorry, this just isn't working out for me. We're going to have to end this now. Goodbye. I'm never seeing you again. Versus nothing. I think I'm going to feel just as shitty in both situations. If you gave me a, hey, Sarah, I'm not interested in you because you don't have any eggs left in you and I really want kids and you're an old fucking hag.
Probably a lot of guys are just thinking that, right?
You're an old fucking hag.
I bet you there's a bunch of guys out there that are like, what?
Or like, I'm not physically attracted to you. And in order for us to carry on, I'm going to need to be attracted to you. Or maybe it's like you're not in therapy, Sarah, and you need to get therapy before we can be in a relationship. Like, I don't know. Those are tangible.
You making this person do the legwork of having you?
That's just honesty.
Figure out your own, no,
that's just being fucking. That's just saying it like it is. And
Wendy and I had this conversation. The difference between being honest and telling every fucking thing about how you feel. Being honest does not have to be telling exactly. I would rather say, I think it is probably better because to say, hey, I am not, you know what, I'm in a bad place right now and digga, or I'm reconnecting with my ex, make some bullshit up than to say, hey, your pussy stinks and I'm not doing this anymore.
You would rather the first one. You don't want to tell someone that second thing. Well, that's because I'm not because that's true. And that's probably something she should address. Yeah. And I had a guy once tell me when I was working at Kudo, selling cell phones. I remember that, by the way. I remember seeing you working there.
Yeah.
Yeah. At the mall, right?
I did it. That's what I'm telling a story about it. He said to me that he was like, hey man, and I was fucking hungover, and he was like, man, I really appreciate everything you did today. You really helped us out. I just wanted to let you know though, you got to get a piece of gum or something. Your breath's fucking brutal. And I was like, shit, thank you. Now I can take that, and I respect that. But that's not your
maybe
pussy stinks.
maybe bitch needs to know that her pussy stinks.
She does.
No one told her.
But it's not. I don't owe it to her. To tell her that her I don't owe it to her to tell her that her pussy stinks.
You don't get flowery with it, but I just mean like
how is that okay?
I like tangible.
Maybe we found number 2, death, and when your reason is that her pussy has a stench.
Is it the same with dicks? Just a question.
If your dick, I don't know how I don't have a lot of experience with dicks. If my dick was always smelling,
but
and
I
I'm
don't
sure
think
you can't always smell
the
your
smell
own
thing
dick.
is more. I think it's more hurtful to women.
If I was walking around knowing that I had a stinky dick,
it's not as much of a stigma on you guys though for it though. I find
because women like gross shit. They like guys to be gross. Because guys are
it's
gross.
because of Dane Cook and Dane Cook was the one who started like vagina shaming because he was the one who came out with he started this.
Fucking God.
He started this because he had the joke about
how some vaginas need to be shamed. If it's like that bad, put some fucking Drano up there. Whatever you got to do. Lysol wipes. Listerine. I don't know what you got to do, but sometimes, like, and I know, people got halitosis. They can't help having bad breath, but they can chew gum. They can.
But like, if it's
wash their mouth regularly.
It's going to help that woman to be like,
it's not going to help her.
I now know that I have an issue, so I'm gonna go to my doctor and figure out and get that pH balanced, so that I can go in the dating world and have better experiences.
No, because here's the thing: if we had enough of a connection that I loved this person, if we just fucking hit it off
in every sense,
and all it was a stinky pussy, I wouldn't cut it off.
Would you tell them?
I bring it up. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you gotta.
I mean, I haven't been in that situation, but I like to believe that I would be.
You can't go on. You can't go on with that.
Yeah. Right.
Because no.
People got their pros and cons.
How the fuck did we get here?
We're trying to justify ghosting, and you said that it's better to tell somebody to be perfectly fucking honest.
No,
I don't have to be perfectly honest.
No, what I'm saying is like when you reject someone, don't give me a fucking half-assed, copy and pasted fucking answer. Give me a reason, a real reason. And yeah, it might be fucking hurtful, but everything is hurtful. Anytime something ends, it's hurtful. So it's going to be hurtful either fucking way. Don't give me a fucking copy and pasted, thank you for your service,
Nah,
fucking,
because they're still giving
give
you,
me
you
a good
still
reason.
know where you stand.
Why aren't we compatible?
Why do you fucking care, loser? You're not. Go find someone else. If not, they don't. That's where they don't owe you shit. They don't owe you anything to tell you why you're not compatible with them. They didn't feel it. I mean, I felt it. I felt it with people before who didn't feel it with me, who I thought, oh shit, I thought there was a connection. I actually have I wouldn't say I was ghosted. I might have been ghosted and then like asked the person who ghosted me like a couple months later why. Mm-hmm. And it turned out that I had like made a joke or said something. I think it's most likely what happened with me is I was giving them shit, like busting their balls, friendly.
Yeah.
But they didn't realize that that's what I was doing. And they got offended by that. That's what it was. You
did something to piss them off.
Yeah, they were doing like a really wholesome charity. They're part of some kind of organization. And I had said something about how like you're just, I get it. So you're just a swindler of rich people out of their money. Like just fucking, I thought it was,
balls.
When I do that, it's like I'm saying something that's so over the top egregious. I figure you must know that I'm joking. And
then that's where the problem comes in with you.
But at first I was like, man, what the fuck? But then when I got that explanation, it was like, oh, okay, I get it. Well, hey, sorry about that. If I would have got that right out of the gate, who knows? Maybe that could have been saved and turned into something.
Yeah.
Or maybe it would have been like, I don't know, like. But I don't need to be told every reason why we're not compatible.
No.
I don't think we are.
And also let me clarify. I don't mean every reason. Okay. Like I'm not saying give a laundry list as to why this person sucks. And I'm also not saying necessarily do that in a non-serious relationship. I'm talking like if you're dating for months and months, maybe up to like a year, I think you owe the person a reason why it's ended all of a sudden.
Okay, that's not ghosting.
Versus just no, but now we're talking about rejection and like how to reject someone. I don't like the copy and pasted. So it's just not working out. I'm not feeling this.
Hold on. It's been a year. It's been a year. Now you get to choose between being ghosted after a year and getting the copy and pasted explanation. Do not fucking defend your goddamn point. I already know.
I don't know.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
It depends.
You're talking about how,
it depends.
Oh my God, this guy dated me for 3 years and then he ghosted me and oh fuck, and I feel terrible about it.
We weren't dating.
Well, whatever it was, and you just you're bringing that up.
Yeah, but I'm using it as an example because it was a toxic situation. If there was a relationship that, I just feel like if there was a relationship.
Getting ghosted after a year.
A year. It was more than a year.
No, I'm saying you're going to try to sit here and tell me you would prefer to be ghosted
than to be given
hey, look, I really don't think things are working out. I just don't know if we're so compatible, and I
would take the first one, but I think the result's the same either way.
Well, they're not.
If I am that blindsided that a relationship is ending, if I am that blindsided that this relationship is coming to a close, if we were that not in tune with each other to know, mutually speaking, this is over, then it doesn't really matter how it ends because it's going to suck fucking either way. In my opinion, it's going to suck either way. And I still don't really think closure matters. I don't think it does. I don't think it does. My ex left me and married someone else. He never explained to me why.
But what do you? He ghosted you?
No, but like we broke up and it ended very suddenly, and I thought I was going to marry this guy.
What did he say?
But I thought I was going to marry this guy.
What did he say when he broke up with you?
He's in love with someone else.
There's a fucking explanation.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is it's going to suck either way.
And it would have
Heartbreak will suck
more
either way.
It
but
would
if
have
you're
sucked more if he ghosted you and then you found out later he married another person.
I think I would dislike him more if that happened, and that would
worse.
And that would make me get over him more because it would make me see him as more of an asshole.
You're being insincere.
No, I mean this when I say it's easier to get over. It's
you're trying. You have stated
getting over
a
someone
point, and you're being insincere.
No, I'm being fully honest. When you are getting over someone, it is easier when they do something so bad that it makes you hate them.
Yeah, but I
find actually like probably the heartbreaks that are probably worse are probably the ones that like were like the relationship was so good and somehow people grew apart. To me, that's a little more heartbreaking than even being cheated on. And cheating, we'll get into that in another episode.
Grow apart gradually. It's like a slow exit.
But what I mean is like so in my situation with my ex, like he fell in love with someone else and it was a gradual thing over time while we were together. But I was so fucking blind to the reality of the relationship that I still thought I was going to marry this man.
So what you're saying is that it was
even though
it was traumatic because it happened almost without explanation.
It happened out of nowhere. Like, no, it wasn't technically ghosting.
Kind of like ghosting does.
It was like
you didn't have closure and you had a lack of understanding of what occurred. You're just saying that you were ghosted by your own inability to see the change in him.
He does not know what my closure means. Like, that's the thing about closure, though. Like you can have an idea of what will bring someone closure. And I don't necessarily think, like, we're not connected to each other's brains yet. I think we'll get there with technology eventually. But, you know, like, I don't, like, him saying I'm in love with someone else, that's not going to make my heart, like, heal faster.
No, but it's okay.
It's going to suck either way.
It's going to make you go, did he die? Has he been kidnapped? Was he murdered? What happened? Was he in a car accident? Oh my God, where are you? Why is he gone? I don't know. He changed the locks at his house. He's gone completely. His landlord can't tell me.
Seems
where
like a nice illusion to live in.
Okay, yes.
Ignorance
Try to
is
defend
bliss.
your point. So,
ignorance is bliss, baby.
Why do people ghost?
Should we play the video?
Why do people ghost? Let's just do a quick pontification here before the video. Why do people ghost?
Shame.
Elaborate.
They are so cowardly in themselves that they can't be honest with the person that they've had this thing with.
So
they're ashamed of themselves for not being able to do that. So then they just avoid it.
Yeah. So but the foundation of that is cowardice.
Yeah.
So it's not shame, it's cowardice.
But I think they're ashamed of the fact that they can't.
No, it's a circular reasoning. It's cowardice.
But ultimately,
that's why
honestly,
they're saying it's shame.
And it's probably rooted in like super low self-esteem too. Because if you were someone who had a high self-esteem, you would know how to care for others and be.
I'm going with narcissism, cowardice, and like being a sociopath, inconsiderate. What does it mean if someone ghosts you? Is ghosting disrespectful? How do you respond to being ghosted?
I'm not saying it's not.
In many cases, getting ghosted is considered rude, trying to talk to someone anymore, especially. Is ghosting someone narcissistic? Ghosting itself reflects on some classic traits of a narcissist.
Low self-esteem, which is what I said.
Low self-esteem.
The need to be the upper hand in a relationship and a lack of empathy for another person.
Yeah.
Someone with this personality disorder forms relationships based on how they may benefit them. I mean, that's 100% true. In my long-term ghosting situation, yes.
This personality disorder, someone with this personality disorder forms relationships based on how they may benefit them. Yeah, narcissism. I mean, it's just you
are no longer of use to me, so goodbye.
Yeah, it's just inconsiderate and dickish behavior, and that's fucking the end of it. Like, there's like, again, I was in a terrible relationship for a long period of time, and I can go and say there's a silver lining to that, in that after that relationship where I basically stopped being myself and, sacrificed all the things that I am, stopped playing guitar, stopped doing comedy, stopped hanging out with my friends, all to accommodate this person. I would say that after that, it made me more... Like, it made me say, I'm not going to sacrifice who I am for the sake of another person.
Did you get closure from her?
Well, yeah. Big time.
Did you, though? Did she...
I wasn't ghosted. But
you can also break
let me
up
finish
and
the
not have
thought.
closure.
I didn't need that to get me there. Like, you can look at the... I do believe that you can look at all the negative things that happen to you, and like, I feel that I am a disciplined and strong-willed individual, largely due to a lot of fucking trauma, whatever you want to call it, that I've experienced in my life. The negative situations that I've been in have helped me grow. Do I think that it's like, that's the optimal way to have a life? No. Do I think that I could have came to those realizations in a different way? Yes. Would I be further along had I not had to go through so much hardships and was able to learn those lessons in a different way? Yes. So, like, just imagine if every time you went on a date with somebody, they fucking ghosted you. Or every relationship ended with ghosting versus every relationship ended with a cut and paste, hey, sorry, we're not, I just don't think it's going to work out explanation. Who is going to have a better time? The person who keeps getting ghosted is probably going to go insane.
It's going to depend on your mindset, though. This is not a black, I really don't think.
Yeah, but it is black and white.
Because for me...
Because you keep taking this into a different area of post-ghost and how one reacts to it. Not the act of ghosting, good or bad. Safety?
Yeah.
100%. If you're a woman in a physically abusive relationship, if you're the fucking chick from Maid, like, yeah, ghost them. I've told people... Ghost this motherfucker. Change the locks, leave. Because the person was a piece of shit, like abusive asshole who, like, this person was clearly a victim of. Ghost the motherfucker because that person, like, you're literally in danger.
There's a reason why you're doing that. There's a reason why you're doing that.
That's I don't even know if that's ghosting. That's like protecting yourself.
Well, that's just, yeah, exactly. But this is, again, what I mean when I say... Everyone's perception of this term is different. Everyone's perception, like, unless you're fully in tune with someone, there's going to be a risk of this.
People would go, that battered wife who left her abusive husband is ghosted her.
That's not ghosting. That's survival. That's not ghosting. That's survival. That's survival. But I'm saying that fucking, the person who got ghosted might go to their friends and go, ghosted me. And they will,
Well,
or they will,
the battered wife?
the battered wife, or no, sorry. Okay, so the battered wife is the one doing the ghosting, the quote unquote ghosting in the situation.
Mm-hmm.
That man might go to his friends who know a different side of him, who don't know that he beats his wife, and he might say, my wife ghosted me. And they would go, what a fucking cunt.
Yeah, but he doesn't believe that. He knows that she left because he would
Does
give
he
her
though?
black
We don't
eyes.
know that. We don't know shit. We don't know shit
God.
about. We don't know shit about other. Here's my thing. Here's my final. We're gonna go final thoughts.
You can't take stuff and go, well, you don't know. Well, anything's possible. Maybe we're just a brain in a jar and this is just all happening and it's a hologram. Like, yes, maybe what isn't real could be so. And there's no way of us to know anything in the world at all ever. Yes, that is a possibility.
But it's important we all act with human decency.
Yeah. And ghosting has a definition and it's shitty to do.
Unless
every time
it's a survival situation.
That's not ghosting.
In which case, fuck politeness.
It's not ghosting.
My favorite murder fans will know.
If you die, if you really want to say go fuck yourself to a shitty person, and yeah, those are the two times. But I still think you should say go fuck yourself instead of ghosting. Coward.
So my final thought is, it is, in my mind, not a black and white issue. And for casual dating situations, let me repeat, for casual dating situations. So I'm not talking marriage of years and years. I'm not talking serious relationship. I'm not talking people who've lived together. I'm talking, say, couple months, maybe a couple weeks of dating, whatever. If you get ghosted, you need to use that as an opportunity. Like, in my mind, my idea of what I think is self-confidence as a single woman out in the dating world is the mindset of, if they are not into me, I am not into them. Would you agree with that? Is that a healthy way to look at it? If they're not into me, I'm not into them.
But that's not true.
But that's a healthy way to go about dating. If you have self-esteem as a woman,
yeah, you can't force.
You should know.
You can't go, I'm not into them, because then you're lying to yourself. If you're into them, you're into them.
Yeah, but if
So
they
if you
ghost
go
you
out
and
there-
show their true colors as a fucking dick for
okay.
ghosting,
Acceptance is the key.
they are not into me.
Acceptance is the key to happiness. Yes. That is ultimately what you're saying is bad thing happened. Acceptance is the key to getting past it. That has nothing to do with ghosting. That is a generalized
because
advice.
ghosting is a thing that happens and people are blindsided by it.
Ghosting is a bad thing, and accepting that bad things happen is a good mindset. That doesn't make ghosting
as
good.
bad for the person being ghosted.
Yeah. Are we talking about if ghosting will end your fucking life and you'll never recover from it? And oh my God, it's the most traumatic experience ever? No. Are there good ways to deal with ghosting? Are there healthy mindsets to deal with rejection?
That's what I'm saying.
Yes. That has nothing to do with ghosting and everything to do with just general
But that's
mindset.
why I'm saying
that's not ghosting specific.
It's not as big of a deal as people make it out to be. These people who are out there, he ghosted me and playing the victim. Fucking come on.
It's not that big of a deal. If somebody doesn't, you shouldn't fucking break down and cry.
I'm not saying it doesn't suck.
Because someone didn't hold the door for you when you were walking 2 feet behind them in the mall.
It is not the end of the world like some people make it out to be.
But that person's still a cunt.
Yeah, and that was never my stance. I never once said people who ghost are angels and amazing people.
But you're justifying it.
I'm saying,
but you're not justifying.
There's reasons why people do the things that they do. People have to stop making such a big deal out of these casual dating situations where they are not owed anything from that person. Until you are fucking in a committed, monogamous situation where you're like, we are together, we are like monogamous, we're not fucking anyone else, we are like Like I'm.
But then you tried
maybe
to just
this is
say
like,
that you would be better being ghosted by this guy after you were in a committed monogamous relationship than a cut and paste explanation.
It sucked, but it would have sucked either way.
Oh God, there's different varying degrees of suck.
It would have sucked either way,
and it sucked a lot more.
What I'm saying is, when I look back at that situation, like I no longer go like put it all on him. He ghosted me.
He didn't.
What an asshole. Yes, he did. He did full on ghosting. He deleted me off of everything. Disappeared out of nowhere.
Wait,
all of a
you're
sudden
talking about two different people now.
I'm talking about the most recent heartbreak that I had. That was a ghosting.
Mm-hmm.
That was a situationship.
And that one,
he ghosted me.
And you compare the two, both just sucked.
What am I comparing it to?
No, the two situations. The one where the relationship ended after a year. You thought you were going to marry the guy. Wasn't a ghosting. Gave you the cut and paste explanation. Or the guy that ghosted you. Which one hurt more?
I don't know, because I've never been in the 1 year situation.
You just said that you had a guy that you were going to marry.
No. Oh, that was even more than a year. That was like 3 years.
3 years.
What hurt more? They both, honestly, and you're not going to fucking believe me.
I know. I'm not going to.
They both hurt.
Let's put it this way.
Lot.
I've known you.
It's tough to compare them.
I've known you. The one where you were ghosted is the only one I know about. And I fucking heard about it for hours on end. So something tells me you can say, I don't know which one hurt me more. But I know which one I fucking talked to you about hours on end.
Well, obviously I didn't talk about the other ex. We can get into that.
Yeah, but
sometime.
you'll still be talking about this ghosting experience 6 years from now. Yeah, you will. You will.
It was formative. This is what I'll say.
It was formative. So, I guess what we throw it to the audience now. What do you think? Ghosting. Did Sarah make any fucking sense in this podcast?
That's what the feedback. It's not. I never said ghosting's good.
Yeah, but that's
I just
the
said
question.
People have to stop making a big deal out of it when it's a casual situation.
I guess maybe it's that I have male friends and you have female friends.
But I feel like I'm coming off as more of a male answer in this than you are.
No, because I don't know people who are like, oh my God, I've been ghosted. Oh, this is
that's
terrible.
True. No, that's true. That's true. I'm the one who has to. Maybe I feel this way because I have to deal with all the fucking single people in my life that get ghosted and complain about it all the time.
I got guys that go, yeah, bitch ghosted me. Fuck, what a cunt. And then they move on.
Yeah, exactly. Seems like a better place to be than in the fucking wailing about being ghosted for years.
No, but that's just because men know how to deal with rejection because we have to.
I think we should learn how to deal with rejection better.
Yeah,
like men.
But there's still every man will be able to deal with would prefer rejection over ghosting unless he was planning. Unless he was looking for an out. Like if you're looking for an out and you get ghosted, woo, great. When I'm mutually ghosted with that one girl, like woo.
But again, it's almost like it's situational. It's almost like it depends on the situation and the mindset that the two people are in, and the communication between the two, and how strong the relationship is to know each other's intentions. It's almost like that.
Yeah, but it's ghosting is still just the shit thing to do. You should just end it, pussy. Just do it.
I agree.
So, maybe we missed something. Audience, members, listeners, viewers, fans, if you will, leave us a comment. Did we miss something? Is ghosting acceptable? When is it acceptable? When not? When the person is what we've got, they died, or they are out of abusive relationship,
in jail.
Well, yeah, something like detrimental mental breakdown, like they actually were incapable of doing the thing, which I still don't think that's ghosting. Tell us, is there an acceptable time to ghost?
Yeah.
And to Sarah's point,
And-
do you think learning to accept that bad things happen sometimes and get over it quickly is
No.
optimal? Yes. Okay. I think, yeah.
So
Yes.
okay. Well, I liked this chat. This was a fun. But I liked it because it was equally heated as it was funny sometimes.
But I just don't think that you I think you keep not answering the question.
I
think the
never
question
said that it was fucking good.
Yeah. But you did say that it's
I'm
like,
saying get over
happy
it.
to be ghosted.
I'm saying get over it.
And you
There's
lied about,
nothing-
you
there's-
lied about,
There's nothing you can do
you
about
lied
it. This
about
world is
preferring.
chaos.
You lied about preferring to be ghosted.
This is a chaotic world. Honestly, okay. Well, if we want to leave on a cliffhanger, I out of sight, out of mind is the best way for me to move on from someone.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
no, okay.
I'm not friends with any of my exes. I would never get over them
I agree.
if things ended cordially. I'm just saying.
No.
That is maybe
No.
why I lean towards
No.
ghosting.
But no, because
Selfishly.
you lean towards ghosting selfishly because you lack self-control.
100%.
That's it. Because if they ghost you and cut you off, you don't have to be the one that hit block.
Exactly.
Because you're going to want to ghost.
Exactly.
So it's because you can't help yourself.
Yeah.
So like,
I've never not admitted that.
but if you just had the wherewithal to block them from your life and accept the way you're saying, somebody's doing the hard
absolutely.
part for me when they ghost me.
Absolutely, but I think that experience, as like what you said about trauma and shaping you or whatever, making you a stronger person, I think the next time I'm in a situation, I am going to be that other person. I'm going to be the idealized version of me that is just like, okay, he's not into me, moving on. Don't care if I'm still on Instagram. I'm just not going to look because it's not good for me.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
I really do think that and I don't know when that will be. I'm waiting, guys. I'm waiting for
listeners that want to start a romantic relationship with Sarah and then fucking dip.
I would love a crush.
It'll make her a stronger person. She's cool with it.
I would love a crush to be horny again. So please be appealing.
You would love a crush to be horny?
Yeah, I can only be horny if I like someone.
Oh God, here we go.
All right,
that's what we'll go. That's the next episode. Is what's it called? What's your fucking demisexuality and how it's not real?
We can't get into that.
Oh, we will.
Hear me on My Dad Stole My
one because that's one that we're really in.
Listen to me on My Dad Stole My Limelight podcast for my conversation all about demisexuality.
Yeah, it's called You're Overthinking It.
Oh my God, we need to end this. We're ending this. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure to subscribe. Follow us on social media.
Smash.
Give us
like button.
Let us know what you thought. We want your feedback. So please let us know what you thought. And we will.
All the feedback. Are the episodes too long? Are you enjoying these? I don't know how long we went. A little bit over an hour, maybe an hour and a half or so.
I don't know.
Something like that.
Holy shit. Has it been 2 hours?
It's been 2 hours since we started that recording, but we cut the first half.
Right.
So it's been like an hour and a half. And we can chop this down a bit, I'm sure, but not too much.
But thanks so much for tuning in.
Yeah, we really appreciate it. Join us next week when we do demisexuality.
No, we're not. I refuse.
We've got to. Okay, it might be not next week,
It's
but
too
we're
serious
doing
of a subject. I'm not doing that.
It's not even serious. It's a bunch of fucking silly bullshit that doesn't even exist.
Okay, we're not getting into this now. You keep doing this. I'm trying to end the podcast. Come on.
Goodbye, everybody.
We love you.
I'll get her there. Don't worry.
Bye-bye.